I need a little help. I have hit a bump in the road with my attitude. Being the boss at work is great and I love it, but there are days when the stress level can be high and I'm deep in boss mode, making decisions, assigning tasks, and all those little choices I have to make to do my job well. On those days, it's difficult to submit when I get home. I feel like I challenge him at every turn. Why is he doing this or that? Why is he not doing it how I would do it? I actually got snippy about the way he cut up some potatoes while he was helping me with dinner last Friday and spent about 20 minutes in timeout. It's always little things that are meaningless in the long run that seem to really get my goat. We basically go to work at 6 a.m. and come home close to 6 p.m. and go to bed by 9 p.m. I'm pretty tired of writing lines or going to the corner. Granted, the corner helps a little and wasting what little evening time we have together by having an attitude neither of us want me to have. Do you have any tips or tricks for switching into a submissive headspace after a long day of being anything but submissive? Not the potatoes. The potatoes are dividing people. I know. Why did we have to bring potatoes into it? Okay. So again, I was just saying to Moon Pie here, this is a very normal to have this, like, I can't shift. I feel stuck. I feel locked and I don't know how to shift out of that space. This is incredibly normal. And here's the analogy that came to my mind earlier. Have any of you seen the show? It was a little bit back in the day. Have any of you seen the show Alias with Jennifer Garner? Especially you, Moon Pie. Have you seen that? Do you have any reference for that show? So yeah, you're familiar with it? Okay, so the analogy that came to my mind, for those of you who are unfamiliar with that show, go watch it. Alias, Jennifer Garner. It's great. She is like a double agent. Okay. And so she works for the good guys, and the good guys have hired her to act like she's working for the bad guys. Okay. So it's this whole covert thing. And Moon Pie, do you remember in the intro her like walking into the bank and then her going into that room and then the flashing red light, you know, and then she got into her actual like covert office. You remember that? Well, it was like, it's this whole like secret location and it has to look like this normal bank, but she has to like go downstairs. Then she goes into this room and it's like a screening room kind of thing, a security room before she can go in to her job. And when she goes into the job, she isn't herself. She's not Sydney Bristow. She's Sydney Bristow, but she's acting this role because she's this double agent, right? And then when she leaves the bank, when she goes home, she has to act like her normal self, like she's not a double agent, right? And what I want you to think of, Moon Pie, is you need a moment of transition. The same way that Jennifer Garner, Sydney Bristow, had to walk through that room, that screening room, before she clocked in and out of work, before she went from I'm not acting to I have to act all the time, to I'm just being me, from I'm just being me, right? To I have to be this double secret agent and be in my head about all these things. It's that room that was allowed her to go in and out. So she had to go through that screening room. And that screening room was kind of the cue that, okay, we are now in double agent mode. We're now regular Sydney Bristow mode. Okay. What I'm hearing from you, especially not just a brain cue, you're kind of going with it. But when you say that being put in the corner helps a little bit, that kind of gave me a clue here that you're not allowing yourself the time and the space to energetically shift. And it sounds like, although you don't like corner time, it is beneficial because it forces you to stop. It forces you to breathe, relax, get out of your head. You're not in work mode anymore. Where are you? You're here in the corner. Why are you here in the corner? It slowly shifts the headspace. So, Moon Pie, that's what I would suggest for you going forward. I would say don't set the expectation up to be submissive right when you walk through the door. I would not do that. I would, as part of your ritual, have that phasing out, have that the decomposition. Yeah, where you decompress, where you kind of, I'm shifting out of this role and into this. Right now, you're literally going, I have to jump into submissive space while I'm still operating in a dominant mode. That's why it's not working. That's why you're critical. That's why you're nitpicky. That's why you're still analyzing all these things, because you're still up here in panned out dominant space. You're not in your body in this soft, open, ready to receive space. So it's unrealistic. And if you're a switch, because honestly, take 30 minutes, take the time that you need, okay? But I would set that as whatever you and your dominant work out, but I would not set an expectation where you have to instantly be in a submissive headspace. I feel like you need a moment of transition, but I would include that moment of transition as part of a ritual where it's part of it's expected of you. You're not expected to be submissive from the moment you walk in the door, but as your dominant, yes, I am expecting that you start to transition, and by this time in the evening, you will be submissive to me again. Do you see what I'm saying, Moon Pie? So I do think it needs to be a directive. I do think it needs to be part of a ritual. How are you feeling about just what I've thrown out so far for you? That feels way more doable?